What's up everyone, back again with another Showdown Live. Today we're going to be playing some Mono Fairy and trying out some of the stuff that came with the Isle of Armor DLC. But we're going to be doing something different today. We're going to be using a Trick Room Fairy team. So let's see how it works. Could be terrible. I've seen a lot of fighting in dark on the ladder, so hopefully this morning's going to be nice to me and I'll see some of those again. So what we have is, first off we have Hatterene. It's going to be a max HP, min speed obviously for Trick Room, and max special attack, so it is quite bulky. I could actually run max defense, which I might change depending on how the games go. We have Calm Mind to boost my special attack and special defense in Trick Rooms. This can like clean through teams, especially with Magic Bounce. I can't be taunted or toxic or anything like that. It can also do the nice hazard setup, which is super nice. Side Shock is just to hit things like Chansey potentially if they come out, while Draining Kiss is good for the longevity, and the 75% recovery is very nice. Next up we have a Mimikyu. It's a min speed Mimikyu, which is kind of different. It is my specially defensive tank on the team. Pretty nice special defense. It has Rocky Helmet to punish multi-hit moves, which can be nice. As well as that, the Disguise more or less guarantees a Trick Room up outside of Moldbreaker. Shadow Claw is just for a bit of stab. Will-O-Wisp is to threaten physical attackers, and Curse is a strange choice for a ghost, as it will half my HP, but it can be used as a nice pivot. So if I Trick Room one turn and I Curse the next, I can actually feint and pivot into like Azumarill or Hatterene, who won't have to take the hit, and they are now in the Trick Room, having speed advantage, while also damaging my foe. So that can be nice. I think I can also get Memento. You can't actually get Memento, okay. So Curse will be. Azumarill is your typical belly drum, but it is actually a min speed to outspeed things in Trick Room, and Knockoff and Liquidation are just good strong moves, while belly drum is to jack this thing's power up massively. And we have Aqua Jet, which is nice priority, especially when my Trick Room ends. I can just click Aqua Jet and still hopefully claim a couple of KOs. Next up we have a Choice Scarf Gardevoir with Trace. The reason we have Trace here is it can trace things on like dedicated weather teams like Chlorophyll or Swift Swim, and with the Choice Scarf can actually outspeed those really speedy threats. And for like say a grass team we can click Psychic against Chlorophyll Venusaur, or for a water team we can click Energy Ball against Swift Swim Barraskewda, things like that, so it's really nice. We have Focus Blast to do with steel types, like Ferrothorn. I might try Mystical Fire instead, as it hits things like Caesar for 4x and Ferrothorn for 4x, and it also hits Aegislash, which is pretty important. Next up we have Klefki. It's a physically defensive Klefki with some spike support and toxic, just to wear down some potentially set up threats. Steel Beam can be used nicely if I know they're going to defog or rapid spin. I can click Steel Beam and potentially KO myself, denying their setup, their hazard removal, which keeps my spikes up, and defog in case they do run something I really don't want to deal with, like toxic spikes. And lastly we have a Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales' purpose is really to set up Aurora Veil. So that's nice. The hail does chip my team slightly, but my team does very much value the half damage from moves. We have Blizzard as strong and doesn't miss in the hail, which is nice. I might change to Freeze Dry depending if I lose to a lot of water types. It hits Dracovish and Pelipper for 4x, which can be quite nice, but we'll see. I'll stick with Blizzard for now as it is stronger. I don't necessarily need it against dragons, as I do with Moonblast, but it can hit things like Dragalegi super effectively, which can otherwise give my team a bit of trouble, so that's nice. And we do have Encore to force setup, and which can potentially help me swap into one of my Trick Roomers and collect Trick Room, especially behind the veil. So I'm going to pause it there and I'll start recording when I find a game. So we did find a game, and it is against Mono Water. Funnily enough, I was talking about how I could struggle with the water matchup, so maybe I should have wanted Freeze Dry here. So right off the bat, I love Gardevoir in this game to click Energy Ball. It threatens a lot of their Pokemon. I don't like dealing with Toxapex. I'm going to open Hatterene here as they go Pelipper. So I'm going to click Trick Room turn 1, just in case they want to go into one of their Swift Swimmers, as they do click Hurricane, and that is definitely specs based on that damage. Unfortunately, it does hit me for confusion as well. Mimikyu should be able to take that nicely. Hopefully they don't confuse me again. So I'm certain that specs based on the damage it did, and I'm going to Trick Room here. which I get off nicely. So now I can just click Curse, which will faint my Mimikyu. And it did so much damage to Hatterene, so I'm going to have to take out Azumarill. And I'm going to click Belly Drum, as I should survive a single Hurricane. Because I'm Master Special at my HP stat, as I don't because he crits. Okay, this game has gone from bad to worse right now. Maybe Hatterene with Draining Kiss can put in some work. If I can just about KO this, as he goes in Crawdaunt, which is nice for me because it gets Hatterene back to mostly full HP. And Crawdaunt was a bit threatening on my team, despite being a Dark type. As they go back into Pelipper, so I can click Calm Mind in their face, which should let me survive as they U-turn. Interesting play. So I definitely expect Dracovish to come out here. Dracovish can give my team trouble. I might have to sack something here to Dracovish. It's a question of what do I want to sack. Gardevoir is super good in the late game. But Spike support could definitely help. This is tough. I want to sack Ninetales. Yeah, I'm going to sack Ninetales to this. And Gardevoir just clicking Moonblast should get a KO here. And if they go into Toxapex, I go into Hatterene and get my Trick Room back up. As they go Pelipper to get their Drizzle up. So I might have to sack something else here. But it's getting to the stage where I do outspeed everything. So I'm going to go Klefki. I expect maybe they want to... I thought an Earth Power would come out there. But this lets me get up Spikes, which is super nice. Just chip damage. And I can get in Gardevoir again and just click Energy Ball. Toxapex can swap into Energy Ball, but I don't think Dracovish can. I think it might dodge to 2 Energy Balls. So this is where the game gets confusing. I think I actually lost, as I don't think Psychic one-hit KOs Dracovish. It is presumably Scarf. He goes in Toxapex, which is a strange play. As they go for Scald. So I'm going to click Trick Room again, as it gives me the best options against Dracovish and Barraskewda. As Scald is doing no damage, so I can click Calm Mind in their face. I have to play this carefully, but once Toxapex is defeated, I think I can win the game. So I'm going to Psyshock here. The Toxic Spikes definitely hurt them a lot too, as they go for a Haze as expected. I'm going to Draining Kiss again. Oh, I meant to click Psyshock, my bad. So if they swap out here, good play. If they stay in, that can be detrimental to them. As they do decide to stay in. So it lets me get my Trick Room back up again. So this is actually doing quite well for me. Especially because the T-Spike is there on their side now. Gardevoir definitely has a better chance of OHKOing the Dracovish. So I click Psyshock. I want to time my Trick Room to end so that Gardevoir can come out. As they give me Barraskewda. So that was probably a good play because they want to absorb these T-Spikes on Toxapex. But if I can just damage Dracovish to the point that Psychic OHKOs, I'm in a very good position. And I'm just going to click Psyshock again here. So in case I swap Dracovish here, I'm going to click, yeah, perfect, I click Draining Kiss, which will now put Dracovish in range of Psychic, which should also 1-hit KO Toxapex, or 2-hit KO Toxapex at least. So I do sack that, and I get in Gardevoir. I just click Psychic here, which I don't see any way Toxapex can live this. They might be forced to click recover. No, that's just way too much damage. And if I get a Spadef drop, it's game over. GG. So that was a close game there. I managed to pull it out in the end, thankfully. So we're going to look for another game, and I'll be right back. So we found another game, and it is actually water again, funnily enough. So this guy is quite high in the ladder, so this could be a tough game. I'm definitely worried about Dracovish here. And if this is Specs Pelipper, it does do a number on my team. I'm going to open up Klefki as they open up Dracovish. So I'm definitely going to click Toxic here. Put this on a timer if possible. And I shouldn't die to Fish's Rend. As they go Seismitoad, good play. But if they do want to Stealth Rock, I can just get in Hatterene to bounce that back. As they go for Knockoff, also a good play there. I think I want to keep Hatterene, especially for later in the game for Toxapex. So I'm just going to click Draining Kiss here as Pelipper comes out. So this should give me an opportunity to click Trick Room. Hopefully they're not a Hurricane, Specs Hurricane. Okay, they're definitely not Specs anyway, for sure. So I'm going to click Calm Mind here as they roost up. I'll click Calm Mind again because at +2 I do believe Toxapex dies. And I do have 2 turns left in Trick Room. I'm going to Draining Kiss. That's pretty good damage, not amazing. And I'm going to Draining Kiss again, as nothing loves to swap into that. As he's going to go for a U-turn. It makes sense there, as Dracovish comes out. So Dracovish is definitely what I'm most worried about in the team. I feel I should sack Mimikyu, so I'm going to do that. And it will take some chip from Rocky Helmet, which is nice. Though I definitely die here, unless it swaps out. Okay, so absolutely. If I go Gardevoir, I can... No, I'm going to go Klefki again and just throw some spikes down. It will help me in the long run in the game as Toad comes out again. So I think as long as I have spikes down, the Dracovish, it will be in range of Psychic. So I'm just going to continuously click that as I live a knockoff without an issue. I think I sack Klefki here. As they go in Pelipper, presumably to go for the Defog. I do Toxic it, which is nice. Put that on a timer, so I'm going to click more spikes if it does want to go for the Defog. As it goes for the Roost, you're still on a timer, so I'm just going to continuously... I'm going to click Toxic in case they swap out, but then click spikes again. So they go for the Defog there. So as I said, I'm going to keep clicking spikes in this thing's face. Eventually it will die to poison damage. As Barraskewda comes out, I'm going to get more spikes down. As they go for Liquidate, which doesn't kill, surprisingly. It just goes to show you how bulky my Klefki is. So more spikes, no worries at all. So I think I'm in the position now where Gardevoir can just click Psychic and do so much damage. Especially with those spikes up. I'm not 100% sure if I do OHKO Barraskewda, but its defenses are terrible. Off the top of my head. Special defense of 50 and 61 HP. So I do think Energy Ball is the safe. I'm going to click Psychic and hope this KOs. I get a crit, so I'm actually sure I could have done a damage calc there. But this puts me in a fantastic position where I can just click Psychic. As Toad comes out, it is a Lorb Toad, so I do think Psychic will probably KO, but I don't want to take the chances, so I'm going to go Ninetales. As they go for a knockoff. So if they did knock off my Scarf, that would have been very bad for me. So they're definitely not going to let me get my Veil up here, so I'm going to click Moonblast on the Pelipper coming in. Which does 2-hit KO nicely. And if Toxapex comes in, that's okay, because I can always go Hatterene. So I always go Hatterene here. If they double back into Pelipper, great play. So I bounce their spikes back, which is super good for me, especially because I can just click Trick Room again here. They can roll for Skull Burns, and unfortunately they get a crit, which is not good. But Psyshock is a ton of damage as they are especially defensive. So they get the burn unfortunately, but I can just click Psyshock again. I'm going to put myself in the position hopefully where it gets to the stage where I can just take out Gardevoir and click Psychic and win the game. Unless they are Scarf Keldeo. But even then, I don't think there's anything they can do to Oko Gardevoir. So I click Psyshock again. Nothing swaps into this. So these spikes were so good in this game. And I'm trying to put myself in a position where I don't let Pelipper defog them away. So I do think that Psychic and Barraskewda might have mattered a lot, but I'm not too sure. I presume Dracovish comes out here, so I'm going to click Draining Kiss. So I'm in a position now where if that's a Calm Mind Keldeo, it could be bad for me. As they do click Hydro Pump. So Hydro Pump in their rain could potentially Oko Gardevoir, so I'm going to get Ninetales out and click my Aurora Veil. It will scout for this being Scarf, which it was. So in the rain, Scarf, Hydro Pump would have Oko'd Gardevoir, so that was a good play on my part. So unless this crits me now, I think the game is mine. I just click Moonblast, as I do outspeed both of them if they're both Scarf. Oh sorry, I don't outspeed Keldeo, I outspeed Dracovish if it's Scarf. And I don't die to Hydro Pump, assuming it's not a crit. And even if it does crit, I'm not sure if Azumarill dies to Dracovish behind a screen. So yeah, that should be game. Okay, they got pretty salty there, and they forfeited. I'm not gonna rile them up. They were high on the ladder, so I did get some nice points there. I think I'm gonna make this a short one today. Just playing 2 matches. They were both against water, but they were fun. Just kind of trying out Mono Fairy and just some Trick Room stuff. It takes a lot of good plays. You kind of have to know where you're going from there. Like you have to kind of time your Trick Rooms well and stuff. I think the only orange that maybe helped me there is Barraskewda getting the crit. But I'm looking up the damage calculator here to check if that Gardevoir crit actually mattered. So this is Timid Choice Scarf, Psychic against Barraskewda, Swift Swim. 68% chance of 1-hit KO, so it could have mattered. It was a high chance of 1-hit KOing anyway, and if you take crits into account, technically there was a higher chance than that, so it was a bit of luck, sure, but that's the game, that's Pokemon. So hopefully you enjoyed this Showdown Live. It's a bit shorter than usual. I have a lot of stuff to do today, so I'm just kind of recording a quick one here in the morning. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll definitely be having up more soon. So be sure to follow my Twitter. It should be in my link in my description. I'll link the team as well in the description. Some other more stuff about monotypes, and I will open up a Discord soon, hopefully. If you guys want to just chat, you can send me teams. Everyone's welcome there. Just talk Pokemon, talk monotypes, games in general. Just build a community, and you can send me teams. You can get updates in the videos and stuff. Vote on what you want to see next, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.